Hi guys, welcome to our 2020 Oscar nominations videos. We will be talking about Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress. Don't worry, we will have an Oscar reactions video coming out soon after the Oscars are over.
Yeah.
With a very special guest.
Yes.
Which you'll find out more about that later. Now, once again, we were not able to see every single movie in these categories. We did miss Richard Jewell.
Yeah.
With Kathy Bates.
Sorry, Kathy.
Sorry, Kathy. You're great in many other things. I'm sure it's totally deserved. We just were not able...
We couldn't find it.
...to see that movie.
We live in Missouri. We don't get...
It had already ended its run in theaters here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't quite to Redbox yet.
Yeah, we couldn't find it.
Very sad.
Sad.
That being said, we're going to jump right into the actors. Mitch?
Okay. The nominees for actor in a supporting role are Tom Hanks for Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes, and Joe Pesci for The Irishman. Shall we go down the line?
Sure.
Okay. Tom Hanks did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But Tom Hanks always does a good job. How do you distinguish one Tom Hanks performance from another?
That's a good question.
That's the question.
Especially when Tom Hanks is doing such a lovable character. It's not really a stretch for him because he's already a lovable person.
Hanks, yeah.
Nobody has anything bad to say about Tom Hanks ever, just like nobody has anything bad to say about Mr. Rogers ever.
Yeah. He did a good job.
He did a great job.
He did a great job. That movie was very nice.
I'd say he's probably my number 2 out of all of these.
I would agree with that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that. Yeah, great job.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not the main character.
Not much. Well, that's why he's supporting.
Yeah. Which I feel like kind of confuses people about that movie.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, the Mr. Rogers movie, and Tom Hanks is Mr. Rogers, and it's going to be great.
He's not the main character. He's in it a lot.
Yeah.
He's in probably 60% of the runtime, but he's not the lead. He did a good job with it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to do both Irishmen?
Yeah, let's do both Irishmen together.
Okay.
So Al Pacino and Joe Pesci.
Al Pacino and Joe Pesci.
They're fine.
They're Al
faces
Pacino
are
and
weird.
Joe Pesci.
Like, if your face is CGI, how do I know if you're acting or not? You know what I mean? Like, why not just animate the whole person then? Like, what's the point? You're just a voice actor at that point.
Nothing wrong with voice actors.
No.
But they're not.
But voice actors aren't
They're
considered...
not competing in this category.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard to say.
I don't like it.
It just seemed normal to me. I didn't get...
And they flirt with a 12-year-old. And then that's fine. I hate this movie. I hate everything about it.
Nothing special. I didn't feel like their characters really underwent any change. Maybe a little bit, but nothing drastic. Nothing that...
I mean...
they mostly just frowned. They just didn't do anything.
They just gave...
I just felt like they were types.
Robert De Niro?
Yeah, Robert De Niro.
They just told Robert De Niro what to do, and then he went and did everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know our spiel.
Same thing with him. Okay,
He got nominated because he was a big actor that worked on this project.
You're playing a type. You're playing a kind of tough guy. The story with him, I thought, was more interesting than the story with Leonardo DiCaprio, but not because of their performances.
No.
It was just an interesting story.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of disappointed in this category. I'm not gonna lie. I think that, yeah, like, 3 out of the 5 people I don't even think should be nominated.
Yeah.
Like, that's bad.
We'll get to who we think should have been instead. But yeah, what? I think they just went with famous people.
I really think they did.
Because this is 5 really famous people.
I mean, of the movies that are nominated for Best Picture, so many of them have male leads.
Yeah.
And male, like, and heavy male supporting casts.
Yeah. Like,
they're male-centric stories.
You couldn't find anyone else?
Yeah, come on.
Anyone. We'll get to that, though. Last one, Anthony Hopkins.
My pick.
My pick as well, in The Two Popes on Netflix. great. Did a good job.
Took a very, like, sort of controversial figure in Pope Benedict. Some people absolutely love him. He was a pope, you know what I mean? But also, like, there was a lot of controversy. He was one of only 2 popes in the entire history of ever that stepped down from being pope and didn't just die while holding that title.
Yeah.
So very interesting character to tackle and take on, you know? I talked in the leading actor video about how playing Pope Francis would be a big undertaking, but I think playing Pope Benedict is even harder because you have to balance the parts people love about him with the parts people hate about him. And I think Anthony Hopkins does a really good job.
And yeah, he had a challenge because The Two Popes is largely like a buddy movie, 2 dudes hanging out with each other. But Anthony Hopkins still brought like a feeling of kind of like antisocialness to Pope Benedict. I don't remember what his not Pope name is. Okay.
He's Pope Benedict.
Pope Benedict. Former Pope Benedict. He brought this sense of like antisocialness to it without being overly malicious. He's just a very set in his ways kind of guy.
He's just a little awkward.
He's just a little awkward. He's socially awkward. And that's kind of hard to play for somebody whose
job is to interact with others.
But I thought he did a great job with it. He would be my pick this year.
Absolutely.
I know, I'm sure Anthony Hopkins, I don't know if he's won before.
I don't know.
He probably has. But, yeah, Anthony Hopkins this year. Kind of a thin field, though.
Yeah, it's not a great list.
No, it's not. It's 5 famous people, 2 of whom I think deserve to be on here. So my snub for this category will be Kang Ho Song from Parasite. He was the dad of the poor family. Really good performance of a dad who is being supportive and at the same time... Actually, no, he's just being supportive.
He's a little bit clueless about some of the more modern things, though.
He's a bit clueless about some stuff. He's kind of scheming, but he's never... I don't know. It's such a complicated performance. And he just did such a good job with it. He has to play the whole range of emotions.
Absolutely.
He has to play a person lying about who they are while having outward emotions, while having inward emotions that the audience can see on his face. Like it was so in-depth. I'm really shocked he's not on here. I know the Academy likes to ignore foreign language performances. But
unfortunately,
just so good. He should be on here.
My snub for this category should not be any surprise. It's Dean Charles Chapman, 1917. Once again, performances were fabulous, stakes were high, everything was where it needed to be. This character, while his counterpart represented more of like a modern view of war as a cruel necessity, he still had the idealistic view of war. And I thought that was a nice contrast, and they both played well into that while still being friends. It wasn't like this huge conflict. It was just a difference between the 2 of them. Once again, I can see that he's like trained as an actor very much so.
Yeah.
He's very good at what he does, and I think it was a shame that neither of them were nominated.
Yeah, they were just kind of ignored.
Because they're young and they don't have big names yet.
They're not huge names yet.
But I think he did so much better than a lot of people on this list who might have the big names.
Shall we move on to supporting actress?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So like we said earlier, Kathy Bates and Richard Jewell we have not seen. The other nominees are Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, Margot Robbie in Bombshell, Laura Dern in Marriage Story, and Florence Pugh in Little Women.
Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit is going to be my pick.
Okay.
I think is probably Scarlett Johansson's best performance ever.
It was very different for her.
Yes.
She's not normally like a maternal, motherly figure. And she is that in Marriage Story as well, but that's not her main focus. Her focus is on the divorce, not her child.
No.
Like, the child is a big part of that, obviously, and she loves her child. But in JoJo, she, like, is the mother.
Her child is the point of her existence in Jojo Rabbit. Really good turn from her, especially for someone whose reputation is as an action star, that she could go to being very sensitive and caring and protective and just clever.
Mm-hmm.
Really good performance. Definitely my pick this year.
I love the scene where they're at the dinner table and she starts like pretending to be his dad. I think that's so just fun.
That's really fun. And it shows her ability to kind of switch characters on the fly. Mm-hmm. She does a really good job. Moving on.
Sure. Margot Robbie in Bombshell. So she was one of the characters in Bombshell that did not have a real life counterpart.
Yes, she was one of the few fictional characters in Bombshell.
And her character goes through some of the biggest like changes over the course of the film. Mm-hmm. She goes from being this like evangelical young woman who is like a little bit naive, but like is so excited to get this job at Fox.
Yeah.
To somebody very different by the end of the movie.
She did a really good job. On this list, she would be my second place pick. She showed a lot of vulnerability while still also being pretty headstrong. I think that was very cool. I don't know. I was very impressed with her.
And of course, Margot Robbie is just amazing.
Margot Robbie's great.
All right. Laura Dern.
Ooh, here we go.
I know she's won so many of the acting competitions up to this point, like Renee Zellweger in the leading actress category.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with Renee Zellweger in the leading actress category. Watch that video if you want to see what I think about that. But I don't get the Laura Dern movement here.
This year.
She's a great actress. Like, don't get me wrong. She's great. This isn't a part that deserves all these awards.
Regardless of who did it. It's basic.
It's so simple. Like, there's two factors you have to consider when you're analyzing characters. The first is whether the character is round or flat, and the second is whether the character is static or dynamic. So, when you're considering whether a character is round or flat, you look at their personality. Is it one-dimensional or is there multi-dimensions? Do they have a fatal flaw? Do they have, like, redeeming qualities? Is it someone that you can see as a real person, or is it someone that just has, like, one trait that defines them, right? I think everyone in all the acting categories play round characters, as they should, right? The second category, like I said, is static versus dynamic. A character is static if they do not undergo any sort of change throughout the movie. A character is dynamic if they do go through a significant change. Laura Dern's character in Marriage Story is static, and I think that does not show her that she is a better actress than the other actresses nominated in this category that all do go through significant changes and are all dynamic characters. Laura Dern is the same person at the beginning of Marriage Story that she is at the end of Marriage Story. And that does not show versatility as an actress.
I thought Laura Dern was good enough in Marriage Story. I'm probably not good enough to be nominated. It was kind of a basic character. She was fun to watch.
Yeah.
But she was a lawyer. And that was really all we knew about her character. She was kind of a cutthroat lawyer. Mm-hmm. And she was a cutthroat lawyer the whole time. Mm-hmm. She was entertaining, but...
She was fun.
And that's not Oscar qualifying, really.
Mm-hmm. The biggest shift her character has is when she goes from like being really like aggressive to like breaking for lunch, and she's just like,
it's like
I want
clocking.
salad.
It's like clocking out. Yeah, she's being like ruthless, and then she just stopped being ruthless, even though she's still in the same room with the same people. Mm-hmm. And that was fun to watch.
Right.
But she basically just clocked out, and then when she clocks back in, she'll be the ruthless lawyer again.
She'll be exactly the same.
It was okay. It was fun to watch, but I don't think it was Oscar qualifying.
I just don't think that she's at the same level with this character.
Yeah, Laura Dern is great.
As the rest of them.
This is just a pretty basic character.
Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
I don't
Someone
get it either.
Explain,
I would even argue the other lawyer, the Alan Alda's lawyer, is more dynamic. Mm-hmm. Kind of. Not the most fleshed out character, but still a little bit more complicated than Laura Dern's kind of workaholic, aggressive lawyer.
Mm-hmm. If we had a movie just about, if like that was the lead character in a movie, I think that would be fun, you know? See her go through a character arc.
Yeah.
That would be really great.
I'd watch that.
But that's not what this is. This is her as a supporting role, and she really, like, doesn't...
She's a lawyer.
I think she does more off-screen than she does on-screen. Like, I think Adam Driver's like, your lawyer called me.
Oh, yeah, there's some stuff you don't see, where they're like, they talk about it afterwards. Okay.
I'm not impressed. I don't understand why she's kept winning all these awards. I'm going to be disappointed if she wins at the Oscars.
I kind of have a feeling she's going to.
I kind of have a feeling she's going to go to, but I don't want her to.
No, it should go to Scarlett Johansson. Florence Pugh.
Now, this is my pick for
Okay.
Best Supporting Actress.
Okay.
And here's why. Florence played the character of Amy in Little Women, and if you know the story of Little Women, you know that Amy is a character that everybody hates, right? She's annoying. She's bratty. She like does like things that you think are unforgivable, but then Joe forgives her anyway, and you're like, what the heck, Joe? Florence and Greta Gerwig together took this character in a whole new direction, made her interesting, likable, understandable. You empathize with her. For me, the way they portray Amy vastly changes my opinion of the character without changing any of the things she does.
Yeah.
Or even says, but just the way she says them. The way we see her, the way Florence plays her, makes her almost the same caliber as Joe. I feel like Amy was really the star of that movie, and I think Florence 100% deserves.
Okay.
Just because she takes this character that you know already and can completely change it. And it was Greta's idea. Like, Greta wanted to do that from the start. I've seen, like, some interviews and read some articles about it. But it's still Florence that had to do the work, you know? Florence had to take Greta's vision and actually make it a reality, and I think that's amazing.
Again, Little Women, watching it in theaters was kind of weird for me, so I want to see it again. Florence Pugh is generally well received, though.
Yeah. Midsommar is also really good.
I haven't seen Midsommar yet.
And I'm very excited for the Black Widow movie.
The Black Widow movie.
With two of these people.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And the third actress in that's big, too. But I can't remember who it is.
Oh, what's her name?
Oh, well, that's off topic.
So who's your snub?
My snub will be Jong Yoon Lee for Parasite. She was the housekeeper at the park, I think is her last name, at the park residence, at the big fancy house. She starts as what you assume is a very basic character, almost like a character actor type thing.
Yeah.
And then by the... How do I not give this away? Just later, she is completely different.
Take our word for it.
She's so good. She's so unassuming until she's not.
I feel like we shouldn't even say that.
I feel like we shouldn't even say that. Because that's not even accurate, though. That's not what happened. Like, I'm making her sound like a supervillain. She's not. I'll just cut all this out.
You sure? Okay, how about this? Our snub for Parasite is Jong Yoon Lee. If you haven't seen the movie, don't look her up.
Just don't. She was the housekeeper.
No, don't even say that.
Why not?
Because that's the twist. If they know the housekeeper is our pick, then they know she does something exciting. Don't even tell them who they are. Who she is.
Oh, okay.
That's what I say, right? What do you think?
I think it's okay to tell them what character she is.
I don't think so.
We just said...
Because if you went into Parasite and you knew...
You knew this character does something. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're right. Okay, so let's go back. Mm-hmm. Can I say it, though?
Yeah.
Yay. So our snub, and we both agreed on this, is Jong Yoon Lee from Parasite. If you don't know who that is and you haven't seen Parasite, don't even Google who that is. Just go see Parasite. Thank you.
Even if you know who this person is, going into the movie, it will spoil things.
Don't. Just go see it.
And if you have seen Parasite, you can Google which character this is.
Yes. So good.
So good.
So they're all great in Parasite, but she especially is very good. Okay.
All right. So this concludes our nomination reactions. Stay tuned for our
post-game show.
Post-show reactions.
Post-show show.
Give us a like and subscribe if you like this video.
We're also doing a collab. Soon. Which
we've teased about before. So
details will come out on that.
It's going to be very, very fun.
Very fun.
And delicious. All right. We'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye.